Hello, and welcome to episode 101 of the Bookworst Pod. Kristen has control of the air horn.
Thanks to our Patreon subscribers for our air horn.
Related, I'm Miranda, here with Chris and Kristen. And today we're doing Lords of the Sith by Paul S. Kemp, the start through chapter 7. So, a pow for that.
Yep.
What's everyone drinking tonight?
What are you drinking, Chris?
I am drinking an Avalanche Amber Ale from Breckenridge Brewery here in Colorado.
Oh, I love Breckenridge Brewery.
I like them. So this is described on the can as caramel malt body with a light hop character. So, you know, an amber.
Sounds like a beer.
Sounds like an amber beer.
It is actually though quite a punch in the face of malt. It's and I like malt, but it's a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, good enough. Cool. Shout out to Breckenridge Brewery. They're one of like the first real craft breweries that I had that I liked.
Oh, interesting.
Like when I was like a baby, like I think it was probably like right when I turned 21 and I was out there to ski or some shit. And I had beer from there. So, I don't know. Cool. Miranda's drinking soda water.
I'm drinking a lime flavored sparkling water.
Waterloo brand.
Fuck is Waterloo brand?
It's really good. You can get it at like, nobody lives in DC anymore, but Giant. They sell it at our Whole Foods. It's a sparkling water where the flavor is actually the flavor and not like a muted flavor.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But like sugar-free?
Yeah, it's all like the same shit.
Just more.
Yeah, it's kind of like those fucking LaCroix that you can get now that are like more flavor.
You can get those?
Yeah, but they're not like the original flavors. They're like the curates. They're like the
those
kiwi,
little guys?
the skinny bitches, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm having Migration Brewing Patio Pale, which I've definitely had in the pod before. But it's good. We just went out to get some food because there's a worker strike at our local grocery store, and there are scabs there right now. And we keep pretending like we can just go out instead of going grocery shopping there instead of grocery shopping somewhere else. So
yeah, like adults, I love it.
It's an easy solution.
I mean, it's great that we're not going. Pat on the back to us. Also, we're idiots because we could just go to Safeway.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you're so close.
We're halfway
like
there.
You're halfway there. Yeah.
Well, but we're not going to fucking Whole Foods. Like
we would have gone to Whole Foods.
And
that was the option.
I know.
It's very
I just
close.
mean like we're not going to Whole Foods to grocery shop.
Oh no.
And like the Safeway is far inferior.
It's
like really bad.
Safeway is just really vary in quality, like by location, and it's a problem.
Super.
My least favorite Safeway that I've ever been in.
Oh, the one downtown is my least favorite.
And I used to work at a gas station at a Safeway.
Okay, that's fair. But
Miranda, are you old enough to have experienced the Watergate Safeway? Because
no, that was before my time. It might have
cool.
still
Well,
been there
I'm
when I
gonna
was
go
like
die
a
now,
freshman.
I fucking love the Watergate Safeway. It had like one wilted piece of lettuce was the only produce it ever had.
Yeah,
it was just like we don't have vegetables or fruit here.
But they never ran out of Easy Mac.
You know, they didn't. They had a lot of condiments. I remember just like looking at the condiments across the aisle from where the produce was supposed to be. The ghost of produce past.
They did have a lot of condiments. I know this because my crazy like psycho klepto hoarder roommate like filled a closet with them because they were on sale one day.
He's that guy from our math textbooks.
Yes.
He's got 7 mayos.
What do you mean? Can make 549
Wait, explain
sandwiches.
that joke, Miranda.
Oh, like when you have your math textbooks and they're like trying to teach you formulas, there's always somebody who like has an absurd number or like an absurd quantity of one item.
Ah.
And I
Johnny
thought it
has
was like
7 jars of mayo and 10
trying to
loaves
get,
of
like,
bread. How many
like-
sandwiches can he make?
Or like trying
Zero.
to hit like the place where the cost benefit
Sure.
analysis thing
Yep,
breaks
thank
even
you.
and makes you money. Saves you money even though you bought 7 fucking jars of mayo.
Oh yeah, it's like how many sandwiches does he have to make before he doesn't want to kill himself as much? Yeah, cool.
Yep.
How many mayos can he buy until he's no longer paying more for mayo than he should?
Everyone's always overpaying for mayo.
You should never buy mayo.
Oh, fucking
They
Christ.
accidentally put it on my sandwich today and it was a
I
disaster.
know. I heard. We've.
Wait, but mayo. Do you not like mayo?
I hate mayo.
Why?
I like mayo, but it has to be like in context, correct?
No,
I mean, that's correct, but
no, I can't do it.
Yeah.
What
I
was
don't
the
mind.
sandwich?
I mean, I can do it if I have to, but if given the opportunity, I would prefer to not.
It was a turkey
Interesting.
sandwich, no?
Yeah, turkey sandwich.
Turkey sandwich.
I asked for cranberry sauce, and they gave me mayonnaise.
Those are very different.
those are about as different as one can get.
It was a different guy who I didn't recognize.
Did he cut your sandwich in half though?
Yeah, he did. They did
Okay.
not cut my sandwich in half
See-
on Monday.
See, there's a guy who doesn't cut her sandwich
I
in
mean,
half.
I
but
only have a sandwich from the same place a normal
Isn't
amount
it
of times a
exhausting?
week.
Definitely not every day.
A normal.
Isn't it exhausting when you have like a lunch place and it's like really good when they get it right, but they also only get like one
Yes.
like one thing is off like 30% of the time, and you can never
Oh.
predict what that one thing is going to be.
They're
the
usually very good. This is like the second time in 7 months that this has happened to me.
Oh, interesting.
So they're pretty good. Just Miranda is Miranda.
I don't like mayonnaise.
She doesn't
mean,
like
not-
mayonnaise, and she's also very particular.
Not everybody can be just the bright star of consistency that is GW Deli. That's for sure.
Oh, God bless America.
GW Deli, notably not open on Sundays.
Oh, I know, it kills
the
me.
worst. I just used to wake up so hungover and be like, I need a deli sandwich, and then I would be like, God is dead. God doesn't exist, but he's dead.
You go to Ivory for the inferior sandwich.
Oh God, exactly.
I was.
Well, I got food poisoning from there once, but that was during Snowpocalypse, so does it count?
I don't know.
No.
I think I got food poisoning from everywhere I ate during Snowpocalypse, so it's fine.
I think
The fact that anyone came to work and fed us was amazing.
I think you were just hungover that whole time.
Listen, it was a complicated
I was going to say,
situation.
like, bold of you to eat during Snowpocalypse.
Okay, I needed to. I was stuck in Ivory. What was I going to do? I didn't have any food in my fucking dorm. I was a piece of shit.
Oh, sorry. I got confused between Ivory and Carvings. Carvings was my shit.
Oh, I love carvings.
Carvings is fine.
No, it was like the Ivory like food
Yeah.
bar. Also had great
Gallery.
sandwiches. Yeah, gallery place.
Oh, God, Gallery. Yeah, no, you're right.
$17
Gallery
toilet
Place was
paper.
grody as hell. You're right about
Oh, yeah. Good
Well, I used
shitty
to-
sandwiches.
I know. I was gonna say.
Good shitty Chinese food
I know.
bar.
I used to get their like fried tofu, and then that ruined it for me because all I did was puke fried tofu for a while, but it's fine.
happen.
You know what are you gonna do? It's fine.
Raise
Cool.
high.
I really thought we were gonna get into Star Wars earlier than usual, but here we are, stuck in friendly, upsetting banter.
Well, just to wrap up the upsetting banter with some more upsetting news, as listeners will notice, we are missing one small but mighty co-host today. Kate
Is it you?
No, I am neither small nor mighty.
It's Orca.
It's Orca. It's true. He's downstairs with the other person who is Kate.
Pork chop?
Pork chop too. They're all downstairs. Honestly, they just left me up here.
They're having a fucking party.
Hell
They
yeah.
really are. I mean, in that every single one of them is sleeping right now. Yes.
That's
Oh, that is a
my
party,
kind
though.
of party.
It is a
Is
good
Kate
party.
about to like get up in an hour and like do more work though?
Oh yeah. No
Yeah,
question.
As she does.
Yeah. No, she's gonna be up till 4 o'clock in the morning doing work, but for now she's sleeping.
She's very grad school. And that.
She's. I mean, honestly, it's good for her because she is kind of naturally nocturnal, so it's
I was
working
gonna
well.
say-
Other than the fact that it's 10 o'clock right now and she's sleeping, but
I mean, usually I sleep at 10 o'clock, but then I stay asleep until the morning.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the time that I like.
It's a
to
fine
sleep.
line.
That's my sleeping
Cri-
time.
Kristen just wakes up 84 years later. Like,
I do. I'm very.
Yeah.
It's yes,
what's the one that's not Jack the Ripper, but he's under the tree? Rip Van Winkle.
yes.
Got it.
That's very
Not
different.
those are
Very different. Premise
Rip?
for a great Amazon Prime TV show, though.
Rip was in it. I had that one syllable down.
You got it. Well, and Jack was in it also.
I don't actually remember this story. I just remember
Happy Van Winkle. Nope, Happy Van Winkle is the whiskey.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's Rip Van
again.
Winkle.
Very different.
Van
We're really
Winkle.
jumping around.
Oh, sorry, Jack isn't in it. I meant
Jack and the Beanstalk.
whatever.
James and the Giant Peach.
Beef. I
my
smell
God.
whiskey. Okay. Cool.
Anyway, what
Good
I was going to
times.
say is Kate is in the throes of her first semester of grad school right now, so she is sitting this one out. But she is with us all in spirit, telling each and every one of you listeners personally to eat her ass.
Oh, thanks, Kate. It means a lot coming from you. Great. Yeah, we let Kate do whatever she wants. I mean, we've always let Kate do whatever she wants, but now, with less predictability, in that we always let her do whatever she wants, but we don't know what she's going to do at any given moment.
She's a wild card.
She is. Sorry, I keep burping because I've had like 70 beers already.
Twist.
She's had 2 beers, and she's drinking a third.
Well, I also had a glass of wine before the beer.
And the glass of wine.
Yeah. And then I had a grilled cheese. And so now I'm just very belchy.
Ooh, grilled cheese sounds really good.
Yeah, it was
Right?
good. I put turkey on it. It was real
Ooh.
good.
You should always go with ham over turkey on a grilled cheese.
No,
Ooh,
because the
that's
ham...
You should
the
never
ham-
go with ham over turkey in any context.
That's not true. I just know their ham versus their turkey lunch meat at the place that we went.
Fair.
And their ham lunch meat is not my favorite. Anyway.
Ham is bad. Change my mind.
It's not like a smoked ham. A smoked ham lunch meat would have been very good. That's what I
Or
usually
like-
put on a grilled cheese.
Like a Black Forest?
Yes, exactly. Well, yeah, I think that's like smoked also.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, now we're even further into it than we usually are when
Star
we do
Wars.
this. Great.
This
When
isn't
and
a
where are
record.
we, Chris? Lords of the Sith. I bought the wrong audiobook by Paul S. Kemp.
Yeah, that was pretty fantastic
That was
of you, Kristen.
pretty typical of me. I usually, if listeners don't know, I usually try to get kind of both the Kindle and the audiobook to read along with, because I end up not doing my reading, and also I just like having both because then I'll go back and listen to it. However, I bought the wrong one. I bought one that we read before. Which one did I get? Dark Disciple?
Yeah.
I
think
accidentally
so.
got Dark Disciple, which I didn't have the audiobook for.
I mean, great book.
Oh yeah, totally great book. Hadn't listened to the audiobook, so I'm excited for that, because usually if they do the voice as well, then they do the voice as well. So we'll see. I'll reread that. It was one of my faves. But okay, listen, Dark and Sith, those are they're in the same filing cabinet in my mind. Okay.
Yeah, they're both.
Is it
dark
by
side.
chance the Star Wars filing cabinet that they're both in?
I only have one filing cabinet, and it's all Star Wars. Anyway, so Lords of the Sith by Paul S. Kemp. One thing that I have hated about the audiobook so far is the way that they say Twi'lek. I hate it.
How do they say it?
They say it Twi'lek, and I'm
Ooh.
gonna just lie on the floor now. It's a no from me. Chris?
I'm sorry. I zoned out. I'm trying to remind myself how one pronounces Cham Syndulla. I'm pretty sure it's Cham.
It is
I
Cham.
think it's Cham.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's what they call
So,
them in
and
Clone Wars.
in trying to figure that out, I just stopped listening. Can you say that again?
Twi'lek. They say Twi'lek. And
Oh, no.
It makes me want to die.
No,
that's
absolutely
Good-
not.
Good talk. And it's like, I'm like, it might be a guy that you like maybe had a British accent, because I hear him say stuff in like Twi'lek would make sense if you were British, I think. But he
Yeah.
doesn't have a full British accent all the time, so I don't really know.
Oh, you hate to see
Anyway,
it.
Chris, where and when are we besides Cham Syndulla and Twi'leks?
Ryloth.
Ryloth.
We are on Ryloth, and it's various moons within the system, I think one could say. As is noted in the little like intro scroll, we are 8 years after Return of the Sith, so 8 years into the Empire, which means that puts us between when Han gets out of Corellia and the main plot of Solo. It also puts us before A New Dawn, so Hera is at this point potentially working for the rebellion, but we're not positive. She has not yet met Kanan.
She gone though.
Yeah, she's off Ryloth.
She is definitely off Ryloth. That is 100% true.
Cham is all, I miss Hera. And then
Yeah,
we cry
Cham
and
is all,
cry.
oh shit, am I a bad father?
Twist. He is.
There are no bad fathers in Star Wars.
It's true.
No bad fathers, no dead mothers. TM.
But yeah, so that's kind of when we are. It's for reference. Also, this puts us about 7 years before the start of Rebels, about 11 years before A New Hope. So Luke Skywalker is but a playful child at this point.
A young boy of 8.
A young boy of 8.
Drinking his blue milk.
What else is happening?
Chris is ignoring all of our jokes.
Yeah, I didn't have a response to that. You know, Kristen, my mother taught me if I don't have anything nice to say, not to say anything at all.
Oh, that's
That's a lie. That's absolutely not something that my mother lives by. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Also, it's really funny because my mom listens, as I think we've mentioned.
I hate
Yeah,
that she
I
does
learned
that.
that
I
recently.
hope I never meet her so she doesn't
Well,
know who
so
I am.
Miranda is
She's
going
coming
to
to
meet her
Thanksgiving.
in 2 months because Miranda is coming to a Very Book Wars Pod Thanksgiving, as are my parents. And when I told my mother that you know our friend's going to be there, it's Miranda, she's a co-host. She's like, I know Miranda, from the pod. She Miranda, I'm pretty sure she remembers you from the conversation we had about how my mom will cycle through names in her mind in order of importance. So it'll be like Justin, I mean Chewy, I mean Chris. And you said something along the lines of you want to get higher than me on that list.
Oh, you were
when
drunk.
she's searching for my name.
That's fair.
And that is stuck in my mom's
I remember
mind.
that.
I
So
do not remember that.
It
Was
was
it
a
the
thing.
first time I was on the pod?
It's entirely possible.
no, I think it was the third or fourth.
I was never as drunk as I was the first time on the pod.
Okay, correct.
So-
But correct.
But
I mean,
anyway,
there's
so
a
that's
reason
how
we
she knows
were
you.
able
So
to
you
get
should
you.
just prepare yourself for that.
Okay. Parents like
Hey,
me.
she
Very
Thank
polite
God.
and aggressively Capricorn.
Thank God you're not me. Cool. In this and in all things. Where's the Empire at this point, Chris? Tell us about Vader and his very family.
Yeah, well,
Palpatine's in charge.
I feel like I'm going to talk a lot this episode because
That's
Yeah.
okay.
most of what was added, not by me, to this outline was all caps, spaces between the letters, and BN.
You missed the other thing that I added.
Oh no, I saw that one too.
Listen, hey, we both did the reading. I mean, I always
Honestly,
do the reading. But
That's true.
I have 2 notes on the Notes app on my phone that did not fit into a place in the outline
Neither
once
one.
I opened up the outline.
neither of them is good. I've read them.
Okay, no, one of them is a very relevant point to the greater Star Wars.
I didn't understand it. It was several lines. I got confused halfway through and stopped reading.
The first one's a
Twist.
shit post, but
The first one is a shit post. Okay, it's fine.
All of this is completely unexpected, frankly.
Where's the Empire at this point is what it says on
Space.
the outline. Chris, can you tell us where the Empire is?
Yes, it's definitely in space, in a galaxy that is far, far away from the one in which we sit right now.
Long ago.
long time ago. Yes,
Yep.
that's what they're saying anyway. It's what the people are saying.
Long time ago.
Yeah,
a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Big if true.
yeah. But so like I said, we're 8 years in, which it's mostly consolidated at this point. The Empire, obviously Palpatine is kind of chilling, just enjoying the fact that he just controls everything. Vader, as we're going to talk about, is extremely Vader at this point. But there's a little bit of a difference between now and kind of when we see the Empire at its peak a little later. And you do still see some non-believers in there in the Empire. You still have some people that are like, oh, this was a thing that is relatively new, so I'm just going to be in it for the money. Like Dre, who we meet.
For the spice.
And in it for the money and spice. And so, it's it's not quite like the true believer fest that you see a little later in the Empire, and particularly with the First Order. It's still, you have your Republic holdovers, you have, your old Clone War veterans who are still in charge a lot. All that good stuff.
Greedy motherfuckers.
Chris, can I ask when you think the peak of the Empire was?
I would say probably around the era between, maybe a year in going into A New Hope and up till like Empire Strikes Back. I would say that's probably peak Empire.
When they lost the Death Star?
I mean,
before that.
Yeah, I would say like if you're looking for a specific moment that's peak Empire, it's like the destruction of Alderaan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
or Scarif too.
Sure.
Scarif too. So maybe, one could also argue the destruction of Jeddah City as well.
Oh, yeah. Good moment.
All these things.
I think there's also an argument to be made for the period between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, just because you have like, obviously the Death Star's gone, but you have like the full might of the Imperial war machine has been activated against the rebellion, and it's not going well for the rebellion.
You hate to see it.
That's gonna happen.
Yep. There is resistance. That's what we are talking about also, right? There's little pockets of resistance. Like
not that much.
Freedom fighters on Ryloth. Yeah, I feel like it's, and Chris, correct me. Sorry, you are going to talk a lot this episode because I feel like, sorry, I'm burping
This
again.
is the build up.
It's very,
like,
this was a
like,
very like plot exposition heavy section. There's no question.
Correct. And I don't mean you're going to talk a lot because of that. I feel like we're going to ask you your opinion on a lot of things because I feel like a lot of this is like your shit. Like this is kind of like
the book about
peak
Darth Vader.
Yeah, like the peak Vader shit.
Big if true.
Like I just feel like you know a ton about this era. Like this is like the overlap of a bunch of stuff, and so I kind of like want to know your opinions on a lot of things. Would you? I get the sense that a lot of the resistance in this kind of era, if you'd like to call it an era or whatever it is this time, is mostly stemming from movements where folks are trying to get their planets back. So I'm thinking like Mandalore and like Ryloth and like other places that have had either like have been super fucked over in the past, like Ryloth, and like have never had a free Ryloth, or used to be like a strong power like Mandalore.
Well, I feel like Cham says that at some point in this section. It's like, or he says something basically along the lines of, it's a different organization, but they're still like oppressing us, or whatever his words were. Like, Ryloth is still getting fucked. It's just a different guy at the top of that food chain.
Right. And there's a conversation between Cham and what's her name? Isval, thank you. And like Cham is like a free Ryloth is like different than destroying the Empire, and Isval's like, why? So it's I thought that was like really interesting. Anyway.
No, you're absolutely right. Like I think that's an important distinction, and I think we'll talk about it in a bit when we talk about Cham and his ideals later, because this also like kind of comes up later when we meet Cham in Rebels. But I would say all resistance at this point is local. Like there is not really a larger rebellion. Obviously we know from reading Ahsoka in the past and just kind of knowing the timeline of the Rebel Alliance, like Mon Mothma and Bail are out there building things, but it's and Ahsoka is with them at this point. Ahsoka's fulcrum at this point. But like it is very sparse, and thinking back to A New Dawn, when we think about the position Hera was in, Hera was very much in the position of like she is looking for people who might be willing to like start to do something more united. Like there's no larger rebellion at this point. Like we're very much in the phase of like rebel cells, like trying to formulate rebel cells and then go from there.
Yeah. Everything's very localized. There's nothing pulling them together. And I think like they don't know that it's a bigger thing. So that's why you see all of these local cells trying to do their own thing. And, you know, maybe it's a save their planet thing in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of that. Even when we see Leia being like, Alderaan is a peaceful world, like, don't fucking blow it up. I think it's just a lot of the resistance is based on like those home planets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think much of the rebellion is theoretical at this point, as opposed to real.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Aside from, you know, these isolated pockets like the Free Ryloth movement.
Aside from, we hate the Empire Club.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Thursdays at 3:30 in room 226.
Yes. I wrote a note under where is the Empire at this point.
I was just going to ask you, Kristen, where is the Empire at this point in your view?
Up Palpy's butt. I would say up Palpy's butt / cowering before Darth Vader, because both of those things are true. And it's just very funny because like a lot of times Palpy and Darth Vader come as like a package deal, and everybody's just like trying to suck the fuck up to Palpatine, and everybody's just like very afraid of Darth Vader, and it's just very funny.
Poor King
It's
Nello's
a good, like, I wish we would
dynamic.
see that dynamic more on screen, which we won't. Like, I don't think we ever will. We see it a little bit in Return of the Jedi, obviously, but like, that's kind of it. But like, it's a funny dynamic because you have like Palpatine basically just like mocking everybody in how nice he is.
He's like,
Like-
I am not a military leader. I cannot give that order.
What's
Yeah.
funny too, because like, you know, in the little that we've seen
he's such a fucking
Palpatine
troll.
in this book, like you can tell how much he's fucking playing chess against himself.
Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like maximum at any given point, Palpatine is maybe paying like 20% of his attention to what's happening at the moment.
Oh yeah, like everybody else is trying to figure out which side of the checkerboard goes up.
Like, he's so fucking smart. It's so upsetting because he's such a bad person.
Right?
Jesus.
But yeah, and when he's like, oh, my old friend Orn Free-Taa, you're going to give all my orders on Ryloth now because you're my friend, right? Meanwhile, staring at Darth Vader, just unblinking back at you.
Orn Free-Taa is just pooping his pants.
Yep.
Speaking of Darth Vader, we learn a lot about Darth Vader and his egg.
We do. Lot of egg content.
Do you want to tell us about it, Chris?
It's a pointy egg.
I do. Sorry, it's a weirdly pointy egg. It probably hurt coming out of whatever giant metallic creature
Whatever
it came out
giant
of.
metallic chicken.
Yeah, giant metallic chicken.
Ostrich, emu.
That's true. Like, bold of us to assume it was a chicken.
I don't. It was
Absolutely
not an
right.
emu.
How do you know?
I feel it in my bones.
Could have been another flightless bird. What about a penguin?
It's not a fucking penguin either.
Okay.
Sorry, penguin. I don't think that a penguin would lay an egg that would latch onto Darth Vader. I think an ostrich is a good option.
Ostriches and emus are very similar.
I do believe it's a chicken. Emu's fucking won that war in Australia, and some redneck shot one. Like, I've shown you that video.
Sure. Emus are scary. Anyway,
They have large talons.
they're very scary.
It could have been
Anyway, it
Kevin,
doesn't
the
matter.
bird from Up.
Yes. All
probably
of
it.
these things. Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
It's the crossover we've all been waiting for.
So he has this meditation egg. There was a real point to this.
Yes.
He's
No,
got a
yeah, so
meditation
Vader
egg,
is...
and we see him coming out of it in Empire. Where do we
Yes.
see it? Empire.
It's Empire.
We see it in Empire. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
It's
But
his
we figure
head.
out what it is.
Yeah, we get a little bit more detail about it and like kind of get the view that that's where he goes.
Also,
to,
how
like,
it
kick
works.
it.
Yeah, how it works.
Also how it
is
works,
important, kind of. To
Yeah.
me.
And like the view. Sorry, I had to burp. The view of Vader of like that we get here is also like coincidentally like Vader's stage in his like life development is very similar to the Empire's. Like just how the Empire is like very much on the upswing, but not quite peak Empire. Vader is very much on the upswing, but not quite peak Vader. Like he's still, as we will talk a little bit about today, and as we'll get more view of in the coming chapters, he's still got a little bit of Anakin in him. He's not like quite full on Vader that he was in like A New Hope, end of Rogue One, where he is just like peak of his fucking choking pun making powers.
Right. And by like a little bit of Anakin, you mean a little bit of like the soft Anakin?
Yeah, a little bit of the...
He's aggressively Anakin at all times.
That's, I mean,
he was and continues to be a trash baby.
Marina, that was what I wanted to talk to you about off pod. That I didn't talk about off pod. That just like, I did talk to her. Sorry, I apologize.
No, she started a sentence and then said, we can't talk off pod.
I appreciate you living your values.
Thank you.
Not going to the grocery store and not talking off pod. Proud of you, Kristen.
A little
Our
bit
favorite
of
things.
Anakin in my... What?
Oh my God.
A little bit.
No one's ever
by
sang
my
this song.
side.
No one has ever sang this
A
song.
little bit of Annie's all I need. Sorry, now I'm just making myself laugh. I love it when people are like, no, like Darth Vader, Anakin has multiple personality disorder or dissociative personality disorder, and Darth Vader's a whole other person. I'm like, have you seen what Darth Vader does? Because it's just what Anakin would do, but evil. Like, it's the same dumb fuck shit.
Yeah, like he runs away from his problems if he can't fight it.
Or like
when he
blasts them.
Yeah.
With his brain.
Like when he walks into like the landing bay in A New Hope and he's like, I haven't felt this since, and then he stops and fucking turns and bounces because he doesn't want to have to fucking deal with Obi-Wan.
Yeah. But yeah, he is very Anakin in this, as evidenced by the fact that he literally just stands there on the Twi'lek shuttle freighter, whatever it is, and just breathes into the microphone.
God, he's such a dick. Like,
he is so peak at all times.
Just wants to troll everybody.
Like, he is so he's so dumb. He does like dumb shit. Also, I loved the Easter egg of the buzz droids.
Buzz droids? Why are buzz droids like the single most destructive weapon of war in the entire Star Wars saga?
But like when the buzz droids got all over his ship, I was fucking lolling.
Like, honestly,
like, duh.
Give me a Death Star on one hand and like 200 buzz droids on the other hand. Give me the buzz droids any day of the week.
Well,
True.
one doesn't have an issue in the...
She just burped.
That was
a big burp.
Honestly, I couldn't tell if you like lost your train of thought, had to burp, or were like waiting for like dramatic effect.
Well, I also couldn't remember the exact name of that pipe guy.
Exhaust port?
Yeah, the thermal exhaust port. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did have to burp, so it was a necessary pause.
Awesome.
Pause.
This is really great content that we're putting out for our listeners today. Kate's gonna be so thrilled when she
different than
no
than
mom,
usual.
no rules.
That's so true. Do we want to talk about Saw versus Cham?
I have a little bit more about Vader.
Okay,
I skipped around.
Is that
I
about
skipped
Ambien?
around. I'm sorry.
I wrote Ambien, 2 spaces between the N and the B.
And BN.
That's right. Okay, keep going. Then we'll talk about Saw versus Cham.
Yeah. So like, one thing I found really interesting so far in this book is that like, we kind of get like I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. We get the dark side adept like code of ethics almost. Like we get the view of the dark side, but that's like not evil. Like the not are we the baddies view of the dark side.
It's still not a great view of the dark side.
I mean, it's still not good. Like, let's be clear.
I mean, it's got reasons behind it though.
It's still
as
like,
opposed to like suffering.
Focus
I don't know.
on your anger. That's
yeah, like
use strength.
it has. It allegedly has a point aside from I want to lightning people.
Yeah.
Sometimes
and
you just
so we
wanna
just
lightning
have his
people,
like.
though.
It's true. I mean, hey, sometimes you're having a bad day. Yesterday was tequila o'clock, like 1 minute after I finished work. I get it, believe me. But like, it was interesting because he goes into this whole like kind of meditative train of thought where he's thinking about like how the Force demands order and order will be imposed through the Force, and that's like a very, aside from being a very dark side thing, that's very un-Jedi like, and that kind of gives you a view of where his mentality is at this point. Like, he has fully accepted the dark side of the Force. Mm-hmm. And like, that's when we were talking about how he's not really conflicted anymore. There's a little bit of Anakin in there, but not much.
I feel like that's almost more Empire than anything. Like, that's the whole point of the Empire, is to bring order. That's the whole thing about the First Order. They want to bring order to the galaxy.
It has order right in the name.
It's right there.
It is. But does that rise out of the... Does the desire to create order rise out of the Empire, or does the Empire rise out of the desire to create order?
I think the Empire rises out of the desire.
Sorry, that's
Can you take
that's
Tetris
my,
off?
That's my Tetris music. Because I needed to do something with my hands, but now it's just playing directly right into the mixer. That's great.
Do not edit that out.
I won't. I barely edit anything out anymore, so.
Good. We've had a good influence on you.
The Empire rose out of the need for order because I assume they still have astrology in a galaxy far, far away.
I hate you, Miranda.
But
don't bring astrology into this.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, it doesn't. I don't have to call it astrology. Like, some people function in certain ways, and there's like a variety of ways people can do this. That's loosely based on your birthday.
I hate you
but
so
like,
much.
Some, order can rise out of anything. The Capricorns will bring you order.
I just said don't bring astrology into this.
I doubt that, frankly. I know very little about astrology, but what I know suggests that the Capricorns will not impose order on the galaxy.
I don't think you know what a Capricorn is, my dude.
Very, very loosely. Honestly, really just flying by the seat of my pants here.
I mean, if I could, the Capricorns will fight with each other about who's right, and so there will be no order.
No, so it is very rule of two then.
You should see the look Miranda's giving me because I'm correct.
It's rude but fair.
Anyway,
honestly, the only thing I know about astrology is that Cancers scream a lot because Kate's a Cancer.
That is correct. That is super correct. And Libras can't make decisions. It's me. Anyway, fair. It's all fine.
Yeah. Oh, and then the other thing we see about Vader is, and we'll get much more of this throughout the book, but we get the first kind of glimpse into his relationship with Palpatine. And we've like kind of talked about this with past books. I think we talked about it with Thrawn Alliances, probably somewhere else that I can't remember as well. But like how in Revenge of the Sith, it's kind of billed as this like friendly, like we're going to be friends and rule the galaxy together. And then, whether that was a lie the whole time, whether it was due to Anakin's defeat on Mustafar. We talked about it when we were talking about the Marvel comics back when we read those like once. Like regardless of what caused it, it is like a barely veiled hostile relationship at this point. And like in a way that like work is so dysfunctional that it works for them because like they both just like accept these rules that if either of them deviates from their roles, the other will kill them immediately.
Yeah. It is fucking bananas. I love like how much we're figuring out that like, yes, my lord is literally just like
fuck
Vader.
You.
Well, not only fuck you, but just like, I can't say anything besides yes, my lord, because you already know everything I'm thinking and you've already thought 20 steps ahead of me, and you're not actually asking the thing you're asking something else, and I better agree to it.
It's also wild that everyone, like, in the Sith Order, they're just like, yeah, one of us is gonna, like, kill the other. It's cool. And they're just, like, they both accept it and they both know it.
Cool is not the word that I would use, but it's something.
Anakin / Darth Vader, like, seems very chill about that whole situation. He's like, I might kill Palpatine. He might kill me. One of us gonna die.
Yeah, it's fucking wild
it's like,
shit.
It's like Vader, and I guess like all Sith apprentices, if we're reading into this, we don't really know any other Sith apprentices in the canon. Maul, yeah, and we don't know a ton about Maul's internal feelings when he was an apprentice, but like Anakin is very much like, I'm biding my time for the right moment, and Palpatine is very much like, I could kill you with my thumb.
Yeah.
So it's just like this, the like imbalance of power is like kind of stunning, coming from how Anakin was seduced in the first place, and like, oh, I need your power so that we can rule together. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, friendship, all the, you know, being a mentor, all this bullshit, to like, you are, the rest of the galaxy is absolute scum. You are one step above them. And then there's me 10 miles higher.
Yeah. I feel like this would be a really good topic for the wrap-up episode, because like I definitely have some more thoughts about.
Yeah, Chris, you've read this before, right?
Yeah, this is kind of, I mean, as one might guess
always.
From the fact that the cover of this book is Vader and Palpatine, and it's called Lords of the Sith, we are going to get some more Vader and Palpatine content.
What a concept!
I know. So this is going to be kind of a recurring discussion, if you will.
If you're wondering what that cover looks like, check out our Instagram at BookWarsPod. I just took one with the dog in the book yesterday.
That was a really good picture.
It's very cute. He loves.
Honestly, very impressed he didn't eat the book.
I mean, he did right after that. So
same, because also that was my book.
I mean, he bit the book. But you know, I don't have the fucking hardcover books. It's fine. I mean, I don't have any of
She only has Dark Disciple, Miranda.
She doesn't have the analog books.
I don't have any of the analog books except for a few. I have what
you have from
a certain point of view. Thank you.
You have Rebel Rising.
Yeah, I've got a couple. Quinn got me Rebel Rising. LOL.
I still haven't read it. I can't participate in the Saw versus Cham conversation.
Oh, you should read Rebel Rising.
It's really good.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, it's great, and it's also YA, so you'll like finish it tonight.
Yeah.
Also, I have the analog copy of it. You could just take it right off the shelf and like you should read it. You'll like it.
Is it in here?
Probably.
Right.
I don't have any other books. I can't read. Anyway,
if listeners have read Rebel Rising and want to hear us talk about it, you technically can in episodes 1 through 3 of the Book Wars pod.
R.I.P.
But I wouldn't recommend it.
I wouldn't recommend it. Maybe that's one of the. Maybe we'll revisit Rebel Rising
just to re-record it with good audio.
Yeah,
our audio was not great.
Listen.
Oh god, that was the one that we had to re-record like 4 times too.
Okay, it was our first podcast episodes. We're on episode 101. We actually have gotten better since the first episode,
which really
I know
just tells you where we started.
Yeah. Anyway, no, and plus shout out to the patrons. We literally have decent audio equipment now. So
that we finally know how to work.
A miracle. I still need to send Chris and Kate their cords, but it'll happen
any day now.
Anyway, yeah, so Saw versus Cham. Chris, can you kick us off?
Sorry, I can't. I was drinking my beer.
That's fine.
I was drinking my punch in the face of malt.
That's
beer.
Fine. I know. I can hear it like in your voice.
That it's just
you're like
super,
making a face.
Hear, like,
I can hear the face you're making.
And I like malt. It's just it's not a it's tasty, but it's not a well balanced beer.
Sure, that's fair.
Anyway, so like one thing that Cham repeats a lot in these first few chapters is he's kind of telling himself, I'm not a terrorist, I'm a freedom fighter. And there's tons of connotations to the difference between a terrorist and a freedom fighter that we've discussed at length when we've talked about Saw Gerrera. You can listen to Rebel Rising. You can listen to our first bonus episode when we talk about kind of how the canon view of Saw is skewed and kind of racially coded. I think we talk about it when we talk about Catalyst by James Luceno, because Saw appears in that. But basically, he is framing the struggle to himself as more of a noble endeavor of saving his people than an endeavor of destruction against the Empire.
Yeah, he's doing it for a good cause.
Yeah.
Like, it's... patriotic isn't necessarily the right word. But, like, if we want to take a freedom fighter literally, like, he's fighting for freedom of Ryloth and the Twi'leks.
Yeah. And that was just interesting to me because, we look at Cham and we see, we know him from the Clone Wars when he fought with the Jedi, but was also the Free Ryloth movement was a quote unquote terrorist organization before they fought with the Jedi and made peace because they were very against Orn Free Taa working with the Republic. But he did end up working with the Jedi, and look where that got him. And then we see him in Rebels, and he's he will occasionally work with Phoenix Squadron, but he doesn't love it, and he always has kind of ulterior motives. Like there's, I think, the first episode that he's in, which if Kate was here, she could, I'm sure, tell me what it's called, but it's the one where they're trying to steal the carrier that's in orbit over Ryloth, and Cham is kind of like, I don't care if you need this, I want to blow it up because Ryloth needs to see it burning. And so, we see that development of him, of his mindset of he considers himself a freedom fighter, but also thinking about Saw and thinking about what we know about Saw from Rogue One and from Rebel Rising in particular, and from Rebels actually too. Saw, I don't think Saw would consider him. I don't think Saw cares about the distinction between a freedom fighter and a terrorist. And we talked about kind of in our first bonus episode, the coded terminology of someone being a terrorist, but Saw doesn't need to frame the morality of what he's doing to himself in the way that Cham needs to, it seems like.
Right. I feel like Saw is just much more like, we have a cause, we're going to do what we can for it. And is more focused on, executing that and fulfilling, loving, caressing the cause. I don't know. Than how people view him doing that.
Miranda, did you have a gummy before this?
Yeah.
Oh, I can tell. Okay, cool.
Could you tell from caressing the cause?
Well, listen. Well, she was like, I'm not going to have beer. And I was like, okay, live your life. And I didn't realize that she had a weed gummy before this. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I also wrote something else in this outline, Chris. It says, Cham actually tells people things sometimes. Saw doesn't. LMAO.
So true. So true.
Okay, but that's actually true. When we think about Rebel Rising and Jin talking about the people around Saw and trying to piece together shit while she's a literal child, the child living with him, and she can't ever fucking figure anything out because he sprinkles bread crumbs around and doesn't even tell people what they need to know. He tells people the absolute minimum, whereas Cham wants missions to be a coherent success and sets up tells people stuff so that they can set up contingency plans and blah blah blah. And I feel Saw is well, the ultimate goal is for like everything to burn. So however chaotic things need to be, Mazel tov.
I agree with that. I don't know if saying that, you know, Cham is more open about it is like, we see him in this, like, he tells people what they need to know, but he's more transparent about it. It's not like plant this bomb, like something Saul would say. It's okay, so like here's the actual plan for this part. Like, you guys are gonna do this. We have these like modified droids that are gonna do this, and like everybody is much more in the loop as opposed to just kind of like out with one mission. But he it was about the like little squadron of the Free Ryloth.
She's gesturing. Move. What are you?
The spaceships. What's the word for that?
Freighter? What are you?
The freighter?
No, like the repair ships.
Oh, okay.
Like he has a secret little
like backup second part plan.
Yeah, like after the part where the buzz droids destroy the Perilous, he's got like reinforcements that nobody in the control room knows about.
Correct. But I feel like if Saul was running this operation, like most of the people wouldn't understand that they would be like, okay, so there are mines.
Yeah, it's like, tell me when to push the big red button.
Like,
yeah.
Like, I feel like there would just be so much less known. It just wouldn't feel like such a I feel like when Saul runs things, it never feels like a cohesive effort. Just like everybody's kind of doing things out of like fear.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's that, but I think it's also that there's more of a, I think the goal is more consistently visible with the Free Ryloth movement. Like, Cham, I think, does a better job in the traditional leadership role of like relating what we're doing back to the goal. So like, we're stealing these supplies, you know, for the fight for Ryloth. We are doing this for Ryloth. Like, he has a very easy goal because he like just like literally and tangibly has a planet to save. And I think that's another key difference. Saw has actually nothing left.
So, sometimes Saw just wants to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
Honestly
though, like he is on and off still with the Rebel Alliance at this point.
Sure.
But I mean, we see in Rebel Rising and we see in Star Wars Rebels, that Saw doesn't need to relate his actions back to the goal. No. It is enough for him to hurt the Empire and hurt the allies of the Empire without it having a long-term effect, because that is what his mission is, and he believes that if he just does that enough, it will have an impact. Whereas I think Cham is much more is much more explicit about relating individual actions back to the goal.
Cute Kate screaming about whatever those Rebels episodes were where Saw and Mon Mothma are just fighting with each other.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly it. Because Mon Mothma is like, how is blowing all this stuff up going to help us? And he's like, because it's the Empire stuff.
Yeah.
And like, that's literally it. And that's enough for him. And thinking back to Rebel Rising, when he does that attack on the civilians at, oh gosh, Inusagi maybe, but like the Cherry Blossom planet.
Yeah. And I think Inusagi's correct.
Oh wow, way to go, Chris.
I think I mean, don't quote me on that, but I'm like, that sounded right.
But he does this, what I think, again, terminology is incredibly loaded, but it is more what we in society would consider to be a terrorist attack, in that it was an attack on unarmed civilians.
Sure.
And he is totally fine with it. He is very much the ends justify the means so much that we don't even need to bother talking about it.
Totally.
Whereas Cham is very much like, the ends justify the means, but this is how.
Mm-hmm. And like, this is Miranda's point, but like Cham has been running this back for ever.
Yeah. This actually came up from a discussion we were having a little earlier about Cham and Isval. I can relate it to Saul. Like, you know, at this point in the timeline, Saul's not that old because he was a teen in the Clone Wars. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably
When
late 20s, I would say. Maybe 30 generously. Maybe.
that seems very, very generous, but fair. Yeah, like he's been around and he's clearly been running his operation for a while, but like Cham has been fighting for the same thing against different regimes and for longer than I would imagine Saul has.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Saul, based on my understanding, and also due to him being a child, he didn't start until the Clone Wars when Cham was already very deep into it. So like, I mean, just based on the fact that he has more experience, like he's gonna understand a little better. And granted, like I do think they have very different styles anyway. Like Cham is much more the type to tell everybody everything. But I'd imagine that like he knows that's a better choice because he's seen what happens in different situations there, like in regards to, you know, telling somebody something and telling somebody everything. If that makes sense.
No, totally.
Which I think is also, I do not remember the conversation we were having about Isval, but it was about Cham being very principled. Is that?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say because Isval kind of like talks to herself about how Cham wouldn't approve of what she's doing in her I think hunting is the word that she uses of Imperials.
And I think something that we see, at least in this first section of the book, is that Cham, like, he is principled. He's very dedicated to this movement, to freeing Ryloth. And, like, he doesn't necessarily see the Empire as the big bad. It's just, the, you know, the villain of the week, basically. Whereas Isval's like, what if I go into town and just kill an Imperial officer tonight? That could be fun.
Who says no? Yeah. I was gonna just say, like, Cham thinks about it as like freeing Ryloth, and Isval thinks about it as like destroying the Empire, and thinks that they're both kind of on the same side. And like in a lot of ways they are, but in some ways they're not.
So interesting that you just saying that makes me realize that Isval is kind of the Saw character,
right?
At this point,
yeah.
Like she is very much, and I don't know that. Well, I don't know, actually. Maybe Saw does agree, but, like, her opinion is kind of like, you know, to borrow from The Last Jedi, it's not really about saving what we love because what we love is already destroyed. It is about fighting what we hate. Whereas Cham is about saving Ryloth at the end of the day. Yeah. And Isval is like, I'm already broken. Ryloth is already broken. Let's just kill some people.
Who says no?
Oh, what a great note to end on.
Right. Also,
uplifting as always.
One other note about this book, just kind of an editorial note. As anybody who's reading along with us has noticed, there's a lot in this book and the writing of it and the writing of characters that is extremely problematic. As we've done in the past with books that had that issue, we are going to tackle all of that in the wrap up, and like before the wrap up, kind of like do as we usually do and as we did today, and just like more talk from an in-universe perspective as written. But rest assured, when I talk about how Isval like considers herself broken, that's we're aware.
We'll get
of how this has
into
been
it.
Written.
We have lots of notes.
We do. Anyway, what a great place to end. Next episode, we're going to be continuing on with Lords of the Sith by Paul S. Kemp, chapters 8 through 13. In the meantime, hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at BookWarsPod. Email us at bookwarspod@gmail.com. And rate, review, and subscribe to both us and the Tashi Station Radio Mega Feed. It is the best way for people to discover the show and really just insert us directly into their ear holes and into their hearts.
So sorry.
If you have the means and you're so inclined, please donate to the Tashi Station Radio Patreon and give us coffee at ko-fi.com/bookwarspod. It helps us cover our hosting and production costs. And when you give us coffee, or when Kristen just has a good picture of Jasper that she wants to post, we will post pictures of Porkchop, Orca, and Jasper.
Yeah,
so really,
that one was
it's for you.
That was a specific book-oriented one. If
That's
you want
true.
just like derpy, cute photos, you better fucking give us money.
Pow, pow.
There's nowhere else on the internet you can find either Porkchop or Jasper. That's for sure.
No hamsters.
Fuck off.
No Aussies.
All of you.
Our theme song is Whiz Bang by Poddington Bear. Our logo and artwork are by Joe Butera Design. Thank you, as always, for listening to this episode of the Book Wars Pod. For Kristen and Miranda and Kate in spirit, I'm Chris, and we'll talk to you next week.
That's good.
Oh my god. No one's applauding. No one's.
Oh,
They're
we're
applauding because it's
stopping
over.
this.